Hello, this is Carson from Progressive Mobility and Medical here in Washington, Pennsylvania. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the differences between scooters and power wheelchairs in general. This is not meant to be a comprehensive comparison between exact makes and models, just kind of a general guide at the differences between the two in general to help you decide what might be best for you. So we're going to first take a look at the turning radius. Scooters in general have a larger turning radius than do power wheelchairs. So this is a small scooter, a Buzz Around LT from Golden. That's very indicative of what insurance companies will cover often. So you can see that turning radius is fairly large if you're trying to get into a tight space like a kitchen or certainly a bathroom, turning down tight hallways inside a home. This is a larger scooter, a Pride Victory 9. It has even a larger turning radius. You see I had to stop and back up there a few times to make the turn. But then when you get into the power wheelchairs, like the Pride Go chair here, has a very small tight turning radius. And that is a common factor through most power wheelchairs, is that they turn in a much smaller space, so they're much more maneuverable inside of homes, down hallways, into bathrooms and bedrooms and those sort of things. The other thing you'll see on all these power wheelchairs is that they are open in the front, so they allow you to pull directly up to a table or pull up to a counter and interact with things directly in front of you, whereas on the scooters you have the tiller in front of you. So another common theme throughout the scooters is that a lot of scooters disassemble for transport. And so if transportation is the main factor, scooters are sometimes your only option, although in a minute I will show you a power chair that disassembles. But this is, again, a Buzz Around LT from Golden Technologies, and it's very indicative of the size and model of scooter that most insurances will cover if you qualify. So they do disassemble for transport. That's obviously a good thing if you need them to go with you and fit into the car. But what it does is it makes it very lightweight, maybe not so robust, and we'll do a torture test on these here in a bit, and you'll see some of the differences. But the scooters do disassemble for transport. Here's the Go chair from Pride, and it's a power wheelchair that also disassembles, with one big caveat: it is not coded to be able to be covered by most insurances. So while this might be the best of both worlds, you get that small maneuverability, and you get the ability for it to disassemble for transport. This is a portable power chair that is not typically covered by insurances. It comes apart in just about the same way the scooters do. I hadn't done this in quite a while, so you see me struggling with that battery box just a little, but it's still pretty darn easy overall to take apart and put back together. So now we get into doing a little bit of a torture test on these. I get the question a lot, well, will my scooter or power chair go in gravel? Well, we happen to have a bit of gravel out in front of the office here. So here's me and my Buzz Around LT trying to get through the gravel, dropping off the sidewalk there into the gravel pit. And this is absolute torture for a small scooter like this. I'm actually surprised that I made it that far, but I think momentum carried me a few feet into the pit. But then the gravel's a little deeper over there on the right, and here you can see I got stuck pretty quick. So I would not recommend a small scooter like this through gravel or sand, loose things like that. They typically don't perform very well, but they're not really meant to. I mean, they're meant for flat level surfaces. But I thought I would answer the question I seem to get all the time: will this do my gravel driveway? Here is the Pride Victory 9. It's a larger scooter, so there you see the drop off of the sidewalk wasn't so bad. My body doesn't shake quite as much. This has larger wheels and larger motors, so a little bit more ground clearance, so it's powering through this gravel quite a bit better. I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was easier. And I did end up making it all the way through the gravel pit of torture here. The next one is the Pride Go Chair. Um, the Go Chair is kind of along the lines of that smaller scooter that we saw first. Not really designed for this. You can see as I drop off of the sidewalk there, it's a pretty good drop. My body kind of lunges forward as I try to catch my balance. And now I've got a lot of weight over those real little wheels in front, and this one really, really struggled through the gravel. So small, transportable, maneuverable, but certainly not great for going through gravel or sand or mud, uneven terrain. So here, I thought I was going to get stuck, but I made it a few extra feet before it finally hit that deeper part of the gravel, and I did indeed get stuck, and you can see the rear wheels spinning away. So next up is the Pride Jazzy Select 6. It has suspension in the front, so you can see as I drop off of the sidewalk, it's a much smoother drop. And that's probably only about a 1-inch drop, but you can see it drop off there. My body does not shake nearly as much. I don't lunge forward to keep my balance. It's a much smoother drop, and that's probably as important as whether it'll get through this gravel or not, because not a lot of people are probably going to take their scooters and power chairs through deep pits of gravel, but you will encounter 1-inch drops over thresholds and sidewalks and things like that. So this one performed better. It did pretty darn well. I thought I was going to make it the whole way through, but right there the casters kind of flipped on me and got down in a hole, and then you see the drive wheels are spinning. So I did get stuck in this one too, but it did perform better. Of course, this one does not disassemble for transport. It's a little bit heavier, so it's a little more difficult to take with you, but it's an excellent, excellent overall chair. Next up was the Jazzy 600 ES. And this is a larger chair with better suspension. There you can see the drop off of the sidewalk was very, very smooth. The wheels just carried me right down. The back wheels have suspension too, so they drop down nice and easy. The back wheels have this articulating suspension, so you can see those back wheels are kind of taking the terrain. The larger 14-inch drive wheel powers through the gravel pretty good, and the more powerful motors get me all the way through. So you can really see those casters fluttering all over the place. It's a bumpy ride, but I made it the whole way through. So the kind of moral of the story is the larger pieces of equipment do better over uneven terrain, but of course they do worse in small spaces inside the home. Next, I just wanted to give a little demonstration about stability. The small scooters are totally designed for lightweight transportation. So if you have to lean on them to stabilize yourself to get into it, they can tip. And there's my little demonstration about where they can tip if you do something stupid like I just did, which is drive really fast and turn really sharply. The power chair, different story. It's about 260 pounds. You can see if I lean on it, it's all I can do to get it to tip one way or another. So quite a bit more stable of a device. So that's a real quick, simple comparison. Again, not made to be an end-all be-all with all the different models. If you would like that, that's what I do. So give me a call here at Progressive Mobility and Medical. I'd be happy to bring any of these out to your home. We have them in our showroom to show you what we can do for you. Give us a call. Thank you.